Now for the last array algorithm, let's see how we can calculate the sum and average of integer values from an array. The great thing about this algorithm is that it can be used for any other type of calculation as well, such as getting the difference or product. Let's switch into Eclipse, and I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to name this calc sum average. That's just with a capital C, S, and A, and that's short for calculating the sum and average. Now this will be going into the array algorithms package, and make sure to check the checkbox here to create your main method, and let's hit finish. Now I'm just going to change the comment inside of the main method to say calculating the sum and average of integer values. Now let's go ahead and create an array of integers. I'm going to name this nums for short, and I'll use the curly bracket syntax to fill my array. So I'm just going to use the integers 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Now to calculate the sum of all of the integers from within our array, we'll need a variable to hold that final sum value. So let's create a new integer variable. I'm going to give this a name of sum, and we'll have this hold an initial value of 0. Now we'll be able to use a loop to loop over our array, and we'll add each value onto our sum variable. So let's create our for loop, and we'll create our I variable. I'll set this equal to 0. Then our condition will be while I is less than the length of our nums array. And let's increment I. Now inside of our loop, we can reassign our sum variable a new value, which will be the value of the current sum plus the next value in the array using our nums array, and we'll pass in our I variable as the index. And this will loop over each value in the array and add it on to our sum variable's value. Let's now print this sum variable out to the console to ensure that we have the correct value. So we'll use system.out.println, and I'm just going to print out a string here saying sum with a colon and a space, and then I'll just concatenate on the actual sum value to this string. Let's save our file, and we'll run the program. And great, you can see that we get 75 in the console, which is the sum if you add up 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Now, the great thing about this algorithm is that we can reuse the same steps from above and just add one more line onto it to calculate the average. So right above where we print out the sum, let's create a new variable to hold the average. Now, I've used numbers in my nums array that will result in a whole number, an integer. But if you used different numbers, you may need to create your variable as a double. But I'm going to go ahead and create mine as an integer. And I'm just going to name this AVG, short for average. Now to get the average, we can just take our sum and divide it by the length of our nums array. Now let's just print out the average to the console as well. So I'm just going to duplicate this line here, and I'll change the string to say average, and we'll make sure to use our AVG variable instead. Let's save the file, and we'll run the program once more. And perfect, you can see that we get the average of 15. So that completes this section of several helpful array algorithms. A lot of these algorithms can also work for other data structures like array lists as well. So I'd encourage you to try them out for some additional practice. Next up, we're going to move on to learn about a few other types of data structures. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next lesson.